This week's US CQM forecast alert is final forecast for Advance GDP in 2024 Q3 by CQM and PCA. Comparing the updated monthly economic indicators with the ADIMA forecast, we can see the CQM economic growth forecast are little changed on both the expenditure and income side, while the PCA forecast is expected to see a downward revision in economic growth rate. CQM estimates and forecasts GDP component by linking the component with the related monthly economic indicators as bridge equations. The bridge equations are based purely on econometrics method, and no personal data adjustments are made to produce forecasts. Therefore, CQM is known as go by the numbers forecast. As a result, by repeating this forecast every week, the continuity is maintained in the weekly forecast. So it is possible to examine the impact on the economy of the economic and financial indicators released that week. This week's forecast showed that the economic growth rate on both the expenditure and income side remained almost unchanged, with the average real GDP on both sides remaining at 2.70%. Like GDP, the real aggregated indexes all project a stronger economy in 2024 Q3. PCA forecast this week was affected by September real money supply and real shipment of manufactured goods. Real money supply grew 0.33% in September, below the ADIMA forecast of 0.38%. Shipments of real manufactured goods fell 1.44% in September, well below the ADIMA forecast of minus 0.57%. As a result, PCA revised the economic growth rate downward from 2.69% to 2.39%, roughly the same as the economic growth rate on the expenditure side. The growth rate of the GDP price deflator was adjusted down from 1.98% to 1.95%. due to the September effective exchange rate for the US dollar. The CQM forecasts that the growth rate of all inflation indicators would have been below 2% in 2024 Q3. However, all inflation indicators would rise above 2% in 2024 Q4. Conclusions from this week's US CQM forecast alert. The first, CQM is go by the numbers forecast. The second, a better measure of economic growth in 2024 Q3 is 2.70%. The third, like GDP, real aggregated indexes point to lowest economic growth in 2024 Q3. The fourth, inflation would have been below 2% in 2024 Q3, but would rise in 2024 Q4. This slide contains additional information about this week's detailed CQM forecast.